So there is a new report. But before I go into the new report, I understand that as Ugandans, we are no strangers to road carnage in this country. We know that we lose many people, especially around the festive season. Last year was horrible. Many people died. I remember that family that lost 3 children all in one accident, and then there was a priest in the car that was behind them. And of course, many others that happened over the course of the year and beginning of this year, by the way. So anyway, a new report says that at least 7 people died and 364 sustained injuries in road crashes in Uganda in a period of 1 week. This is sad. So the Superintendent of Police, Michael Kananura, the traffic police spokesperson, told journalists on Monday that the deaths and injuries were as a result of 447 crashes on various roads in the country. Kananura said in the period between July 3rd and 9th was Sunday, 2023, they registered 447 accidents, 67 of which were fatal, 235 serious, and the rest being minor. This is sad, people. How are we driving? What are we doing? Because according to the traffic police spokesperson, the 77 people who perished in these accidents, 38 were both passengers and riders of motorcycles and 26 pedestrians, whereas motorcycles also contributed to the biggest number of those injured in accidents on Ugandan roads last week. Of course, I know that if you follow what is happening in the country, you know that among these crashes was the accident of renowned Kampala businessman Apollo Nyegamehe, commonly known as Aponye. He was in an accident in Itojo over the weekend. Actually, on Thursday night, his driver crashed into a stationary lorry that was in the same direction as they were going, and this lorry that had broken down in the middle of the road it didn't have hazard lights, so they didn't see it. I think it was a surprise to them, and then bang. Unfortunately, Aponye died on the spot, and the 3 other occupants in the car were rushed to nearby hospitals with serious injuries. Now, we know that this is not the first high-profile death we have experienced in this country. Last year, there is a member of parliament who died along Mbale-Tirinyu Road with his wife. They were traveling for Christmas, and they perished in the accident. Those and many others have died or have broken limbs. And the question, and we've talked about this on the Fatboy show extensively, and we've always asked the question, why this? And of course, we have suggested a few things that we can do, all of us collectively, to make sure that we reduce the road carnage in our country. Now, among the things that we have suggested here on the Fatboy show, and some of the things I've seen being suggested by the Speaker of Parliament, Anita Annette Among, we have suggested things like, if you're seated on a boda, because I see, according to this report, that majority of the accidents have been caused by boda riders, or they have happened to people that were on bodas. So if you're seated on a boda and your rider is bypassing a traffic light, you have a right to stop him. You have a right to tell him, don't do that. You have a right to tell him to reduce his speed. You have a right to tell him not to overtake where it is not necessary, because at the end of the day, this is your life. And you don't have, I like to say, you do not have spare for your limbs, for your anything on your body. You do not have spare for that. But also, I like something the Speaker of Parliament said. She said, we need to stop talking about the accidents, and we move to putting in place ways through which we can ensure that these accidents don't happen, and then ensure enforcement, because we have so many things on paper that are supposed to be done to control traffic, to ensure that there are no accidents, but majority of these are not enforced. Some cars on the road have no business being there. I remember last year there was a grisly accident that happened in Fort Portal. Over 65 people died, and it was later found that the bus in this accident was not supposed to be on the road, but then it was on the road and it was filled to capacity. And one wonders who is supposed to enforce the fact that DMCs should not be on the road. Then, of course, there is the issue of corruption, because we know that traffic police is the most corrupt among the government agencies. And the reason they are corrupt is because we condone it. It's because we enable it. Most of us will drive our cars knowing that maybe I don't have tires or I don't have a driving permit, but I know I will give a traffic officer 10,000 shillings and he will let me go. And because of that, we are competing on the road with people that are not supposed to be on the road just because they gave someone 10,000. Now imagine if you and I and the next person stopped giving these small bribes. Don't you think we would have it better on our roads? Obviously, we also have to call upon government to work on our roads. Banange, the potholes. This is too much. And then the other day, I heard something that shocked me. KCCA has been blotting costs for road construction. Yet, when the hashtag potholes in Kampala was trending, the KCCA executive director came out and said that they don't have enough funding. And now we learn that they have actually been blotting the budget. They've been giving different numbers as compared to what Ministry of Works quoted. And also, they were given funds for road construction that they decided to, put into other things like staff retooling and team building. Who does that? What are we doing? Government needs to come up and enforce these things. Stop talking and enforce these things, because we are losing our people, and it is sad.